Amazing fun fact number 2. The Bible is one of the best-selling books.
Good morning, Nigeria. Good morning, world. This is Morning Spring on Western Spring Television. This is where we talk about everything in the public space for the public good, holding everyone accountable to their responsibility. Femi Ojo is my name, and it gives me great pleasure to welcome you today. Today's TGIF edition of Morning Spring. TGIF is, thank God, it's Friday, the last one for this week. We appreciate you for always making us a part of your morning routine. On Morning Spring, each day we look at the headlines from our major dailies, getting you informed, intimated, with happenings and events around you, giving you a hang of what is going on in this nation, national level, subnational levels. This is part of what we do here. And after that, we then converse truthfully, patriotically, and of course, different views, divergent opinions on each matter. It is really, really what we do here. It's Morning Spring O'Clock, and I welcome you. The newspaper segment is next. But before that, when you talk about the transient and the fickle nature of life, it has played out. It keeps playing out every day. But it has played out again in Bayelsa State, where we learned yesterday the deputy governor of Bayelsa State slumped. And, hours later, he was confirmed dead. The deputy governor of Bayelsa State is dead. Now, that would be the end of every man and woman. But then he speaks to the fact that this time, you might be a light bubbly with energy, with all of those things. The next, you might be declared, as you've been passing on, or that you are passed on. The point here is every moment, every second, every minute, every hour, let's make it count. That is the point here. We commiserate with the family of the deputy governor of, Bayelsa State. It is just what it is. Quite sad, actually. And he died at 60. Actually, but then with the good people of Bayelsa State as well, just like I said, that will be the end of every man. Yeah. But then, while we are here, we must do good by ourselves. We take a pause right now. When we return, the newspaper headlines segment is next. You don't want to miss any part of this program. Stay with us. All right, we start with the paper that we have right now with us. Let's start with the Nigerian Tribune for today. Reps ask federal government to prioritize forex allocation to airline operators. That is on the front page of the Nigerian Tribune. Reps ask federal government to prioritize forex allocation to airline operators, and with the rider call for 50% reduction in cost of tickets during Yuletide. Call for 50% reduction in cost of tickets during Yuletide. And you have these on the Royal Rumble in Ijebu land. Awujale throne. Funshegua ruling house disowns Kwam1. The popular Fuji maestro in Wasiu and the Mashao, popularly called Kwam1, is the Olori Omoba Akile of Ijebu land, and the man has declared his intention to contest, the kingship of the available position of who will be the next Awujale of Ijebu land. But it seems he's having some difficulty based on his ruling house. It's possibly the family. There is a claim by him that is from a particular family, and the particular family are telling him to clarify, are you really from us? Because when you wanted to be Omoba Akile of Ijebu land, you use a particular dynasty. Now that you want to contest for the throne, You are claiming another dynasty. Prove it. And now it is being reported on the front page of the Nigerian Tribune that Funshegboa ruling house disowns from one. You are not one of us. Family says. All right. And beside that, you have the picture of the Kano State Governor, Abba Kabir Yusuf, Gombe State Governor, Muhammadu Inuwa Yahya, Nazarawa State Governor, Abdullah Sule, Vice President Kashim Shetima, the Chairman Steering Committee, ADF Scholarship Program, Justice Sidi Bage, JSC, and Chairman, Aliko Dangote Foundation, Aliko Dangote, the Oni of Ife, Obadiye Yeni Togunse, Jaja II, the Chairman of Boa Group, Abdul Samad Rabiu, Deputy Governor of Kaduna State, Hadiza Balarabe, and Lagos State Governor, Babajide Sanwo-Olu, at the launching of Aliko Dangote Foundation, 100 billion naira education scholarship initiative nationwide in Lagos on Thursday. All right. And below that, another picture of the Assistant Inspector General in charge of Zone 2 and other eminent men and women there. Moving on, Dangote, yeah, I took the picture part of it earlier. Dangote unveils 1 trillion naira scholarship scheme for 1.3 million Nigerian students. Dangote unveils 1 trillion naira scholarship scheme for 1.3 million Nigerian students. That would go a long way. You might want to say kudos to the billionaire Aliko Dangote, the richest man in Africa, actually. And Enugu government earmarks 10 billion naira for phase 1 of 135.4 kilometer rail project. Enugu government earmarks 10 billion naira for phase 1 of 135.4 kilometer rail project. And Catholic priest tells court how terrorists bombed our church. Catholic priest tells court how terrorists bombed our church. Remember that ugly incident in 2022 that killed nothing less than 40 persons from St. Mary Catholic Church in Noah. All right, moving away from that, top strip, Oshiomhole Ndume clash as Senate screens Reno Omokri, others. Oshiomhole Ndume clash as Senate screens Reno Omokri and others. Ambassadorial nominees enjoy bow and go privilege. Ambassadorial nominees enjoy bow and go privilege. And lastly, as I said earlier, on the sad note, PDP Adamawa governors mourn as Bayelsa deputy governor dies. So that'll be all from the front page of the Nigerian Tribune. Let's move over to the Guardian for today. The Guardian newspaper. Pricing weak tourism infrastructure threatening $2 billion 30 December target. Pricing weak tourism infrastructure threatening $2 billion 30 December target. And Dangote launches 1 trillion naira. By the way, if you're hearing 30 December, that doesn't mean, and it doesn't mean an unhygienic December. Actually, that is a way they call the celebration of the Yuletide in Nigeria. They call it Dirty December, meaning where people come and unwind and unstress, people within the country, and they just go back, the returnees from abroad where they come to unwind, loosen up and enjoy, the Yuletide period. So whatever goes around within that period, the celebration, the festivities, the food, the drinks, the hangout, around this period is what is called Dirty December. So there is a target of $2 billion, worth of transaction and investment, turnover as far as the finance is concerned. And the Guardian is reporting pricing weak tourism infrastructure threatening $2 billion Dirty December target. And below that, budget turmoil deepens as Tinubu prepares 2026 estimates ahead of MTEF approval. All right. And still on the front page of The Guardian for today, ambassadors Ndume Oshiomhole clash at screenings as Omokri, others take a bow. And Ikeja electric protest as Again, a Keja electric protest as FCCPC seals office over defiance of NERC order. Ikeja electric protest as FCCPC seals office over defiance of NERC order and poor network. INEC's toughest challenge in IRF upload, says Amokiton. Poor network. INEC's toughest challenge in IRF upload, says Amokiton. And there is a way many persons want to say, excuse us, Mr. Amokiton, Professor Amokiton, right? But he's all right. He's a professor, right? And so one will say, I hope you are not trying to lay ahead excuses for whatever might turn up in the turn of events, as at least the next Guba election that will be in Ekiti, and the next will be in Oshun, and the next will be the general election in 2027. Don't give us excuses. You have really talked like somebody who was ready during your screening. The promises you have made, Nigerians will not have it with the kind of budget that INEC usually presents and gets approved. You wouldn't be telling us about poor network. So if you have identified that, what are you doing about that? All right, that is the baseline. Not for us to think, because Nigerians will think, oh, he has said it before. Poor network is a challenge. Where we have poor network and glitches, we have excellent and superior networks as well. So whatever it will take, Professor Amokiton, you have the goodwill now. Please make it count. All right. And Sanwo-Olu reaffirms Lagos State government's commitment to protection of lives and property. Again, Sanwo-Olu reaffirms Lagos State government's commitment to protection of lives and property. And of course, in that picture, you have the the 100 billion naira annual education scholarship initiative from the Aliko Dangote Foundation held yesterday. And by the way, the promise is a promise of 1.1 trillion naira. Actually, of course, you have eminent men and women there. That'll be all from the Guardian newspaper. Next up is the Punch. The Punch newspaper, punching it hard. Insecurity. Federal government approves 94,000 new enlistment. Insecurity. FG approves 94,000 new enlistment. Police said to take 50,000. Military fast track 30,000 paramilitary enlistment. Army eyes 14,000 fresh soldiers. Export way in. And above that, Nigeria killings. U.S. officials prepare high-level briefing for Trump. Nigeria killings. U.S. officials prepare high-level briefing for Trump. And above that as well, ambassadorial list. Oshomole Ndume lock horns over Omar Kre's nomination. Ambassadorial list. Oshomole Ndume locks horns over Omar Kre's nomination. And Labour Party rules out automatic ticket for Obi. LP rules out automatic ticket for Obi, and EFCC arraigns ex-Labour Minister Ngige. FCC arraigns ex-Labour Minister Ngige today. And by the way, maybe it's accountability time, because you will know some officers or officials under Muhammadu Buhari are being questioned right now. Now, the latest being Abubakar Malami, SAN, the Minister of for Justice, and the AGF then under President Muhammadu Buhari. A two-time AGF actually has been questioned and even questioned and detained, with the EFCC. Now, the latest is the same, another minister under Muhammadu Buhari. You're talking about Chris Ngige, was the Minister of Labour and Employment. They have been questioned by the FCC. One would say, if not, why not? In as much they have one or two things or cases to answer, let them have their day in court. All right, and South governors, PDP mourned bias at Deputy Governor's death. Ex-AGF Malami spends fourth night with AFCC. Just like I said, Oyinlola blames Tinubu for PDP crisis. Really? Oyinlola blames Tinubu for PDP crisis. How so? You might want to check all the detail on page 29 of the Punch newspaper. And Fubara pushing rivers toward fresh crisis, says Speaker. Fubara pushing rivers toward fresh crisis, says Speaker. And local refining boom slashes petrol import by 6 trillion naira. Page 19 of the Punch has that. The front page, local refining boom slashes petrol import by 6 trillion naira. And I think that will be all from the Punch newspaper. And the last for today, the Vanguard newspaper. US seizes Nigerian-owned supertanker over alleged crude theft. Again, United States seizes Nigerian-owned supertanker over alleged crude theft. It shows weakness in our port state control regime. It shows weakness in our port state control regime, or LANIO, that it will take the U.S. to seize a supertanker, over an allegation of crude theft. We get to see how that will pan out. And, the picture just above that has men and women of repute, at a particular program talking about the building trust, enhancing security, a new era of security and partnership, Elderly Hotel and Suites, where donations were made. All right, moving on. Tinubu forwards 2026 to 2028 MTEF FSP to Senate. Again, Tinubu forwards 2026 to 2028 MTEF FSP the Senate, and Dangote unveils 1 trillion naira scholarship scheme for 1.3 million students. All right, we hope to see the modalities in the coming days. How can students, be a part of that, benefit from these huge benevolence from the man, Alhaji Aliko Dangote? All right, top strip. FCCPC sues Ikeja Electric Distribution Company, that is IKEDC office, over violation of customers' rights. All right, they better do good by these complaints. And ambassadorial appointments, drama, Senate clears Fani Kayode, others. And Tinubu hails Uzodinma as true progressive and dependable ally. Sadly, in Bayelsa State, it's been reported that the Bayelsa deputy governor slumped and died at the age of 60. That's sad one. Eru Jakwa, Professor Eru Jakwa, that's the name of the man. And away from that, let's look at the humor angle. Mr. and Mrs. And the Mr. is saying, buy a birthday gift for your uncle. Never. Buy a birthday gift for your uncle. Never. He once called me a church rat, that I don't deserve you. Since that day, he has dropped in FIFA ranking. All right. And Mrs. says, meaning? And the man responds, he has lost my respect. Meaning the man that, belittled him and called him a church rat is having a birthday. And so he will now buy a gift for his wife's uncle. Never. Because the man has dropped in, Mr. FIFA ranking, meaning he has lost the respect. So it is what it is. That's what they said on social media space. Energy for energy, aura for aura, oha for oha, ikuru for ikuru. That's the way it's done. All right, interesting headlines here from different pages of a newspaper. But I'll take a break. When we return, we move over briefly to River State, because it seems another trouble is brewing. You will think all is well, because the Martin Amawule side that had a face-off with the governor there, Governor of Fubara, that led to the declaration of state of emergency in River State. And of course, after 6 months, there was a restoration of all parties that were suspended by Mr. President, lying, or laying credence to a part of the Constitution, which many persons faulted to say, you might declare a state of emergency after certain grounds have been met, but do you have the right to suspend elected officials like the state governor and the people's representative, well, it is what it is. They have been restored. And after some time, a few days ago, Martin Amauli led all the members of the State House of Assembly, especially those on his side, to the APC. A few days after that, the governor declared his intention to join the APC as well. And one would think maybe whatever happened, whatever understanding they had, everything is going on well. And now they're on the same space. We are hearing that trouble might be brewing between the Speaker of the House and the governor again, even though all of them have declared and defected to the ruling APC. Trouble in Rivers again, and beyond that as well, we look into the ambassadorial screening, where a large chunk of those that are supposed to be screened, scrutinized, was told to take a bow and go. Stay with us.